joyous occasion for Muslims and people of other faiths or people of no faiths altogether, and for us coming together as humans is a good thing. And so I thank you all for being here and inviting me here. And I've been to Sweden. This is I think my third or fourth time, and it's always been very, very pleasant. I thank you for that. I'm going to recite a few poems. Firstly, for those of you who don't know, my name is Amir Sulaiman, and this is what I do for a living. I go around and talk. It's awesome. And from my tradition, I'm a child of hip hop, and the inheritance that I'm pulling from is from the hip hop tradition. And also, as a Muslim, there's a very, very, very rich tradition of poetry in Arabia, in East Africa, in West Africa, and obviously in Persia, in Pakistan, and all of these languages. Anywhere that Islam went, the language was elevated by it. So whether it was Urdu or if it was Farsi, the language was honored by the presence of Islam and the poets that came forth. And I know none of these languages, so I'm seeking to honor English this evening. I'm a dead man walking, a mute man talking, a blind man watching my brothers die. And I've built our coffins much too often, and it gets so dark when our mothers cry. I know more than I want to, but not nearly enough. I thought I was writing for the love, but it just turned to be lust, and my trust in us was gullibility. The reality's just that. I'm not who I was, nor who I will be, but sometimes I feel me visiting, and I fill me with the lush scent of soul, the flavor of feeling, a rush of color. I think the pleasure may kill me. The pressure squeezes and spills me into the language, the unseen, the unthought, and the undreamed. And my heart begins to pump the thick, rich fluid of verse, searching for a simple word or phrase to fill the phase between the wet nurse and the black hearse. And I know sometimes my words lack worth, lack depth, lack girth, lack the distance to travel from heaven to earth, or from mind to brain, or from soul to flesh. I hold my breath in a hollow hope that my hopes ain't hollow. It's just a message in a bottle, or a genie in a bottle, or a wino in his bottle, or a baby in their bottle. The symphony of me is stuck in staccato like a broken beat, breaking the vinyl into bits of blackness, spinning in circles. Come down, selector. Last night the DJ took my life and left the speakers empty, and the speakers speechless, and the dancers still, dancing or not. They don't see our music as musing, merely amusing amusement. How could they know in basement booths we balance the nexus between the soul and the fleshes, where the science of intellect is? We rock genius like a necklace and drop jewels in gutters. But they fooled our mothers to thinking that they could raise sons in the darkness of night. But isn't the night always dark before the sun is raised? And when the sun is raised, doesn't he make the block hot, and the eyes squint, and the breath sweat, and the trees grow, and the children play? The raised sun makes the pavement see the wavy apparitions, the mirage of future. But I know I'm a dead man walking, a mute man talking, a blind man watching my brothers die, and I built our coffins much too often, and it gets so dark when our mothers cry. This month of ours commemorates a great time in the history of the human being, and particularly in the Islamic tradition, of when the first verses of the Quran came down to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Um, this is the opening of all openings. It is as if the universe cracked open. With this, one of the things that we're attempting and observing this in the manner that we do is in seeking to refine ourselves in the language of alchemy, turning lead to gold. And there are also other forces that are seeking to turn golden souls into lead. And one of the primary things that would be necessary in order to preserve the golden soul is for one to know that they indeed have a golden soul. For one to know that one indeed has value, that one indeed has beauty. These things would seem simple, but for various reasons, in various circumstances, people are convinced or they are being convinced that they do not have beauty or they do not have value. And this thought, feeling in and of itself is enough to destroy a person, and this thought and feeling is enough to destroy a people. And much of my poetry, in essence, is to emphasize and bring forth and highlight the beauty and the value of the human spirit. The alchemist turning lead to gold. The true alchemist is not led by gold. What is to be said of the sciences that turn gold to lead and led countless golden souls to the edge of the sea? There were no shoes on their feet, instead they were led, pushed ahead. The golden rule replaced by the golden ruler, the golden era, both trial and error. Trials and tribulations poured libations in places where all meets terror. Like an arrow through the heart of the sparrow, it's senseless, Helen Keller, a killer of their pretenses, pride and prejudice, great expectations, the souls of black folk, the birth of a nation. My God, this is Nimrod, a pious Goliath, violent, speak like the Messiah, told the beast, peace, be still, repeat myself like peace, be still. My brother lifted shirt, showed a peace, be still. We grind for grub, kids gotta eat skills. I said the way of the artist is like Outcast Elevators is the theme of the artist. He said the theme of the artist is less like Outcast Elevators and more like the elevator scene from The Departed. You're getting shot down regardless until you consider yourself a loser. That way you don't have to count your losses. 3 counts for the out for the count. Dracula out of his coffin, drinking the blood out of the south. But I'm Amir Sulaiman. He's a mere mortal. He has a coffin, I have a portal in the center of my torso. When it opens, angels rush out to snatch a soul out of his body and the teeth out of his mouth. They say hindsight is 20/20. My hindsight is a 22 caliber bullet bouncing in my gray matter. The past matters, the past patterns. If I were to weave my crimes into design, it would be a quilt out past Saturn. But it's mind over matter, because matter doesn't matter unless the mind makes matter matter. But if the mind doesn't know that it makes matter matter, then the mind will think that it's matter over mind. It's like the blind leading the blind, or the spine leading the mind. Walking rewind. Maybe the theme of the artist is more like the scene from The Happening than the scene from Departed. Kill yourself. With that, I'm going to hand the mic over to Dave some water. And maybe after the prayer, maybe I'll recite a couple more